We lost our youngest daughter in the Sandy Hook school tragedy in the States, and I think having gone through that tragedy and experienced what we did and learned the painful lessons that we learned, it was very important that we help others to take our hindsight and allow that to become their foresight.
The Access School Symposiums are something that we started 3.5 years ago in the United States, where we partnered with a school and brought in professionals that work on school safety assessments, also end users who talk about life experiences with regards to school safety. It's really all about educating schools about practices, people, processes, and technologies for making schools safer.
One of them is competing agendas. There's somebody who thinks they have the best idea of how we can provide a safe learning environment, and they have a big personality, and then we have others who don't necessarily agree with that.
I think there's the biggest challenges facing safety, security in any field, or even including schools, is just complacency, right? It's not going to happen to us. It can't happen to us.
You know, I think a lot of people think about school safety and they may decide that it's just not something we have to worry about here, or it's just too big and overwhelming and there are too many things to focus on, and where do I start?
We try to issue what we call the magic formula, and it is collaboration plus consensus. Meaning nobody has shoulders broad enough to carry the whole safety program themselves.
We work with a lot of educators, with a lot of law enforcement, a lot of emergency medical folks, mental health folks, parents, teachers, students, custodians, school staff, community members, architects, and on, because as I said, you know, everybody has something to offer. Everyone has another perspective, another angle, or expertise.
Oftentimes, if you haven't practiced these different, whether it be, let's say, a lockdown drill, or even how to, let's say, access video from a video recording system, you're not going to know how to do that in a case of a real emergency. So preparation, understanding what you need to do beforehand, and setting up and training people long before these things happen prove to make better outcomes when they do happen.
Taking the human element out of a response protocol is, I mean, that's where everything is going. I believe it's just fantastic, because you're probably looking 2 minutes plus or minus from the time somebody recognizes there's a threat to then calling 911, and then a dispatcher sending the police or fire or EMS, whereas technology can take that human element completely out of it, recognize that that's a gunshot, and automatically start triggering responses and shutting systems down and those kind of things. We always have funding issues, and funding is 90% manpower, so we're always looking at how can we leverage technology to act as a force multiplier.
The value of so much of the technology, systems, and products rests precariously on a foundation of the people who are implementing those technologies. And so, for example, I might have a really great electronic access control system, and if I don't properly educate my staff, they might use their card to come into the building and allow someone to tailgate in behind them. Now there's no access control and our system has no value.
It can be a little overwhelming. Where do I start? What's the most important? What tools will truly help? It's important that we take this time and have these thoughtful conversations so that we're smart about our resources and how we're really approaching safety. I was struck during my visit here with how similar, believe it or not, a lot of the issues are. We have a lot of universal safety concerns.
It doesn't matter where we are. Humans are humans. We all have the same or similar issues.
And while we may not all have exactly the same levels of violence or threat or even risk, we all are concerned about providing a safe learning environment.
There have been numerous things that we've experienced in the States that you know, the folks here really haven't gone through yet, but that information sharing is just so important, and we can learn a lot from each other, and that's what I think happened here today.